everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is a very big day, very special day for so many people. So thousands of Americans across the United States are heading to the polls to vote today for election 2020. And so there's a lot of tension in the air. There are a lot of people that are experiencing depression. They're a little anxious as to what the next 4 years are going to look like. This video isn't going to be about my predictions. Also, this video isn't going to be about the importance of voting, and this video isn't going to be about political candidates in particular. This video is to serve on how you can gather support for your own products and services or anything that you want to promote on social media. So we do know that, of course, with the pandemic, that a lot of us, business was slow. We got stuck in our homes for a while, even though outside is gradually opening, thank God. So we know now, if anybody hasn't known, that online marketing is very important for businesses. It's very important to foster a good community, a good online community for social media. And so whether or not you want to grow your audience on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, or anything else that is out there, you need to have a solidified marketing strategy in order for people to want to pay attention to you and want to see your content. So that's what we're going to go over today. The different trends that I've seen in the political campaign and how you can apply it for yourself. And so if this is your first time heading over to my channel, hi, I'm Monique, and I publish videos on YouTube about modest fashion, about social media marketing strategy. I've also shared tips about money and saving money. So if any of those topics interest you, please consider subscribing. All right, so let's get started. So the first thing I want to talk about in terms of the political campaign is that beyond the ads that have been shown on television, as they normally get shown during voting season, during election season, what I've noticed is a lot of celebrities jumping on board to talk about how important the election is. And so I want to highlight somebody in particular. You may know who she is. Her name is Kerry Washington, and she used to play in the show Scandal. And so I'm going to share my screen so we can actually look at a live example. Because something that really struck me was this post from September 22nd. Okay, so we have a GIF here of her kissing Tony Goldwyn, who plays Fitz in the TV show. And the caption says, "Scandal, the movie, link in bio for more info." So what I want to talk about here is that, anybody who was a Scandal fan or, really watch the shows and the episodes each week, they will be really excited to see this because, of course, Scandal did end probably a few years ago now, even though it seems like it was like yesterday, but it did. And so if she just pops out of the blue and she's like, there's a movie coming out, people really want to pay attention to that. And so, it's a very nice, short, concise caption, and you look at it. But then what happened was, I think her link did change, but when you go up to the link in her bio, it actually was talking about a voting campaign. Now, I'm not going to sit here. I'm just going to click on this link and see what it is that she changed it to. But I'm not going to sit here and, tell you, to lie. Waiting for this to load. Yep, so she has a video here that says every vote counts. But yeah, she definitely had a website encouraging people to vote and make sure that they get the information that they need in order to vote. So you don't have to lie. So like if you're a person that doesn't want to lie about things, it's very good to have an honest campaign. What you could do is you could write a short caption like what she did, and just give people a call to action. I remember seeing a post from one of the business coaches that I follow, and I'm just going to click on this for an example. but she had like a short caption. And then she said, I have a message for you. Look in the comments. And so when we went to look in the comments and we pressed the little comment button, it let us know basically, that we're valued and we're doing a great job and things of that nature, an encouraging message. So that's something that you can do for your own products and services and offers, or even if you just want to do, a traditional post, encouraging your followers, because we don't want, if you're an entrepreneur, we don't want to sell to our audience all the time, because that's that point where it seems like, you only care about making sales. You don't care about actually connecting with your audience. And so I teach different business owners that it's very important that you connect with your customers, because they're the ones that are buying things from you. And so you want to make sure that, A, they actually like the products that you're putting out, and B, that they know who they're buying from. So that's very important as well. I can actually put in some other celebrities too, just so you can see um, their different campaigns and the different creative ways that people have talked about the importance of voting. I love this actress, Viola Davis, and she took this nice video, and it says vote. It has a big plain message on her shirt, and like it's not a long caption either. It's just like the last message before tomorrow, plain and simple, but powerful. Vote. Okay, so that wasn't a political one, but I have seen creative ones. I'm actually going to show you guys that in a second. But also, we definitely have seen that celebrities have, put what states that you can vote in, and different information teaching you how to vote, and what are the best strategies to make sure that you're getting your votes in. I definitely want to go to Beyonce's um, page, because I thought that this was really creative. Of course, she has her big fashion hat, and she's telling people clearly who she's voting for. Austin Scott played Hamilton um, in the musical Hamilton. I went and saw him. And so he has this nice boomerang, and he's saying, like, today is the day, y'all. If you haven't voted yet, today is your absolute last chance, and it must be in person. And so then he, puts his nice message in, and hashtags. So, people are pleading with people in order to vote. And I also want to go back to Kerry Washington in particular, because she also brings up my next point and how important it is to be consistent with your message. And so many of these posts are talking about voting. So for example, fact, in 2016, only half of 18 to 29-year-olds voted. This time, let's all do it. So it's calling for a collaborative action to take, so that they're able to get the result that they want in order to vote. She did her nails. There's one more example I want to show before I come back to full screen on here, because I thought that was very original, using GIFs. You can use GIFs in email marketing. You can use GIFs clearly on social media. So here's a GIF, I believe, from one of the TV shows that she probably played on, or movie, and she's like on the phone. She looks really happy, and so her caption is "waking up after that debate," and then she's clearly supporting Kamala. Um, and she's even having a nice suggestion for Cardi B to moderate the next one. And then she's also leaving a final call to action to vote. So this is really good, because even though a lot of marketers love to do these campaigns where we write long captions because we want to really get into that storytelling piece, sometimes it's okay to write like a short caption with a powerful call to action. And so it's really important to make sure that you're clearly telling people what you want them to do. And so this first line here, waking up after that debate, like, it's a very relatable experience. And everybody knew what she was talking about when she was talking about the debate the day before, and this was from October 8th. And you can also see that she capitalizes certain words, because when certain words are in caps, people tend to pay attention. So obviously you don't want to use a caption that has like all caps. Like, you want to definitely train people's eyes to like look and be like, okay, what is she talking about? And so that's helping her post to get seen. And of course, GIFs do really well on Instagram, in particular, GIFs and videos, and live videos as well. When you repurpose them and post them to your feed, obviously she could have did Instagram reel as well if she wanted to, and to get a lot more views, because Instagram is favoring reels right now. So that's important as well, okay? So let me just go back here. I realized as I was talking that I probably didn't share the screen. So let me just go back and share it with you guys really quick. This was the GIF that I was talking about right here. So you can see her like happy, and you can see the caption. So, just look at this and then rewind back a little bit if you need to see it in more detail. Also, what I'm going to do is share the screen again, just to make sure, because I'm not really sure if I had actually showed it from Beyonce. I was talking about this post in particular. She's speaking most of her followers' language. Come through, Texas. Vote has the hashtag. Make sure that you're using hashtags that actually apply to what you want to promote, so that those people that want your products and services, or they want, specific content, can find you. So that's how you strategically use hashtags. You want to use hashtags that relate to whatever it is that you're talking about. So you can clearly see who she's voting for. All right. All right, let's go to the next piece. So after, you've gathered support from people that have big audiences, and after that, that you decided to be consistent in putting out your material, the next thing that you want to do is get social media involved. And so what happened with this election is social apps were really talking about the importance of voting. They also like link to resources within the app that could help you go vote. I did notice that as well. And also with Instagram in particular, you guys can check this out if you're watching this video today. I don't know how long they will be keeping this up, but they do have like a whole circle that says vote. And so certain people that voted, you can see the circle around their profile if you're like looking at their stories, and it'll say 20s. So that represents that they voted this year in the election. It's like a purple and pink type of color, purple and red, if you will. I guess it's supposed to represent like the blue and the red, but it is purple on the inside. So yeah, you can definitely see that as well. So like, if a lot of times with Instagram in particular, or with challenges that Facebook has done, what you can do is if you see your friend taking part in a challenge, then they invite you to challenge or to try that challenge. And so using that kind of makes you feel kind of left out, that FOMO, fear of missing out. And so you can employ that in your content that you have yourself. And so let's say, for example, that you have like a little contest going on, or you have just something that you have going on, maybe a sale or a discount, because we do know that Black Friday is coming up. So maybe like the first 10 people that sign up to try your new product, will get something additional in return. Something that a lot of marketers like to do in the online education space is, if you're like one of the first 10 people to sign up for a certain resource, you'll also get an additional free resource that builds upon that first freebie. So for example, if I'm doing like a social media freebie talking about, different strategies that you can use to troubleshoot if you aren't growing your account, well, the next thing that makes sense, I can either sell, or I can either just give them a bonus freebie, which might be my masterclass, which I am going to link down below. Probably 6 mistakes that business owners make on social media, or how to create the perfect post. I'll probably put both of them down in the description below after this video. But the point is that you want to build upon your free content so that eventually your audience will be like, okay, wow, like I really love her free content, but I want to see what her paid content is about. And so that's a good strategy to do as well. Email marketing. So nobody really talks about email marketing that much. I don't understand why, because anybody that has gone to university or, is an adult, they have an email, address. And so I'm not going to sit here and say everybody checks their email the most, but if you actually have access to a person's email, like the email that they utilize the most, when they're checking on their work emails, when they're checking on any emails from school, there's a huge chance that they'll see your email coming through into their inbox. And your emails may be entertaining. They may talk about, personal stories. They may have encouraging stories for them. So they'll look forward to actually opening your emails. And people don't know this. A lot of people, don't believe that the stories that, they have inside of them, the lessons that they learned, are beneficial to others. And that's simply not true, right? When you're making friends with somebody, or you're connecting with an old family member, what do? You tell stories. And so obviously, if you're an entrepreneur, you don't want to always be like, okay, buy my product, you really need this, get this. Sometimes you just want to talk to your audience and give them value. This is a connection. This is supposed to be a good relationship. You do not want your transactions to just be a transaction. You want them, to be rooted in relationships and collaboration, and also in love, and loving another person from behind the screen, because we obviously see too much hate behind the screen. And so email marketing is a great way to foster that community. Also, it's definitely an extension of your post. Maybe you posted something on Instagram, or you posted something on Facebook or Twitter. And so a lot of people, they stop there, but they're not realizing that, the algorithm is hiding, all of that content from a majority of their audience. A lot of people don't know. Like they'll tell their friend, they'll be like, didn't you just see the post that I posted like 2 hours ago? And your friend may be like, no, because the way that the algorithm is set up, the algorithms on these social apps are trying to, give your friend and you the best content that you actually want to see. So they make predictions about what content they're going to see. And so you may not see your friend's post. It may take you about 3 days to see your friend's post. And so email marketing is a way for people to see your content whenever you send it out to their inbox. Like obviously the only reason that it may not get to their inbox is because of spam, but there are certain ways around that. So let me just show you guys an example of email marketing in action, because I got emails from people that I didn't even know. Like we did fill out a few petitions this year, because of, the death of George Floyd, and what happened with Breonna Taylor, and so many other, you know, innocent Black people that unfortunately were killed. There were definitely petitions that went out for people, like, to sign and change law, because, for a lot of things like that, you have to gather support. That's another thing. With petitions, you're gathering support in order to get a desired outcome. And so when that happens, unfortunately, you end up getting emails from people that you may not want to get emails from, or you may be wondering why you're getting bombarded with certain emails. So I just want to take a look at this one right here, action, justice, and change. So I'm pretty sure I filled out a petition, and that's where this came for. So let's look at this email really quickly. So it says November 2nd, actions for this week. So this came out yesterday. It's a nice photo talking about action, justice, and change. And I'm not sitting here and saying that I don't like the emails that come in. I mean, of course, there are some unwanted emails from, different companies having to do, with this political season, but this was an email that I definitely enjoyed. And so it says, our guide to help you continue the fight for racial justice. So it's very good to have captions on your photos. You definitely want to use Canva. I can actually link to Canva in the description as well, so you can get access to that and see how you can start adding words to your graphic. Okay, so it says Monique. So it's personalizing by putting my name there. Millions of you have signed petitions seeking justice for people who won't be able to cast their votes tomorrow. So this really pulls at the heartstrings. People like Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and George Floyd will not be heard on election day, not without your vote. There is more than the presidential election at stake. In many states, people just like you are voting in favor of laws and lawmakers that aim to protect American citizens from police violence. There is so much on the line and so much yet to be done. Okay, so that's telling me what the problem and the issue is. So now they're saying actions you can take this week after the election, because a lot of people are so focused on today that they're not even thinking about what's going to happen in the future. All right. And so they have voting day. And they said November 3rd is not the end of the work to be done for democracy. Looking for ways to keep the fight up regardless of the outcome of the election. Tune in at 6 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow to hear how many in the change.org community are planning to continue to make change no matter who is in power. And so they have this nice button that I can click on to watch live on November 3rd. They also link to it right here as well. So you can link to different resources. If you're a YouTuber and you like, posting videos, you can utilize email marketing to make sure that nobody misses your next YouTube video. Then they have another photo here. This is your democracy. So like to gather more support, because pictures tell 1,000 words. They allow you not to have to write, a lot in order for people to understand what your point is. And it also says, if you're looking for tools to help you do your part in protecting our democracy, check out change.org/yourdemocracy. There you can stay informed about elections in your state, watch inspiring videos about why it's important to vote, and to sign petitions related to this year's election. And so then they have a nice button, explore this page, just in case you missed that link. So repetition, consistency, these are so many themes that I've already discussed at the top of this video. And so it's very important to make sure that people see where to go. You don't want people to have to guess where to go. Okay, really quick, I'm just going to go back to this page. This was what I was talking about. He had a nice boomerang and saying how important it was to vote. So I just wanted to show that. Right. And so last but not least, there was text message marketing. So it's not really popular among a lot of business owners, but it's a very good strategy because you know how I said earlier that not everybody checks their emails, but I'm pretty sure they check their text messages. So that's another thing that you might want to jump on if you're really serious about growing a community. If you're an entrepreneur, definitely important to grow your business. So like you can send reminders because some people they may not be in a hurry to join a Facebook group, so you could like send a text message and be like, hey, our Facebook group is here, you forgot to sign up, we're about to go live, make sure that you sign up so that you can get all the good stuff that you basically signed up for their text messages for. And so I also want to say that, I did receive a bunch of text messages that seemed like, they just kept going off. I'm going to look really quick and see if I want to share it. So this was from a company. They sent me a photo. I didn't even know whose number it was. They sent me a photo that says, "We have a big chance to flip the Senate." It says, "Hi, Monique." They say who they are. And they said, "Our TV ads to support Democratic Senate candidates and flip the Senate are showing breakout success. The results are so exciting that we're aiming to raise 1 million more by midnight tonight to keep these ads running and ensure that as many voters as possible can see them in the final 9 days before voting ends. Will you chip in $12?" So, they're telling me, how important this is to them, and in order uh, to help the voters, get the resources that they need. And then they asked me at the end, that call to action, will you donate? But yeah, it seems like I kept getting like so many text messages this season. I'm like, who has my number? It's definitely kind of scary, but I see why it happens. But yeah, definitely from different numbers. I'm not sure if I really support this method of reaching out to people, especially when you don't have their number. I think they should opt in to get those text messages from whoever it's coming from. So be sure to keep that in mind if you ever, are considering to resort to communicating with your audience via text. Make sure that they want to actually receive those text messages from you. Yeah. So here are the 5 things that I want you to walk away with, the action steps that I want you to take. So number 1, collaborate with people who have a big audience and who can benefit from your strategies or knowledge. So you don't want to just obviously reach out to, powerful celebrities or powerful business owners just because they make millions of dollars and they have so many followers. You don't want to do that because that's the quick way for you to get deleted or blocked. You want to actually, be respectful of them, see how they're doing first, and, ask, is it a possible way for you to open up a collaboration, or where you send email is typically better than just like DMing people as well. So make sure you keep that in mind when you're going for a collaboration. Definitely you want to communicate through email, like what value it is that you want to provide for their audience. You don't want to say like, oh, I want to do this and, this is for me, blah, 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 blah. You want to actually do that. That's, one thing that I've seen other people been able to do. And that's how I realize a lot of people get a lot of, big numbers. Me personally, I haven't really reached out to bigger business owners yet. I just don't feel like I'm at that point in my business, but no, definitely like, I start by like talking to other small businesses and doing like joint efforts with them first, and then so you can build up to the bigger business people as well. And if you don't have a business, if you're not an entrepreneur, you can still um, collaborate with people that maybe in your community, or collaborate with your friends on something, just to like share different ideas and offer or invite engagement is what I want to say. So that's a really good thing to do as well. And then that way, when you actually do want to reach out to bigger people and bigger audiences, you kind of have a track record of, being nice and being hospitable and being really engaging and just fun to be around. So definitely keep that in mind when you want to grow your social media accounts. Number 2, you have to be excited about what it is that you're sharing with the world. Because if you're not excited about your offers, you're not excited about your content, you're not excited about just being on social media in general, no one's going to want to follow you. No one is really going to have or care about what you have to say. You have to be able to, grab people's attention as they're scrolling through their feeds. You don't want to be that person, that posts something and gets like no engagement because no one really knows what the goal of your post is. They don't know what the photo means. They don't know what type of graphic or what it is you're trying to say. So make sure that you're being clear and you're being really excited and letting people know how you feel about what you're sharing with the world. So that way they can feel it and they'd be like, wow, like I'm interested in that too. Or wow, I didn't know that she did, or she or him or he did that. Um, and so you can actually, gather excitement for what you're passionate about as well. Number 3, you want to talk about your passions and your offers frequently. So what ends up happening for a lot of people is they'll just mention something one time and expect their entire follower list to remember what they're talking about. Even with email marketing, you know, it is hard sometimes, to make sure you're consistently following up with people, but it's a really good skill. So that way people can remember, because like we go through so many things in life, and you know today, point blank, it's really important just to make sure that you're being consistent in what you're sharing with people, because when people see that consistency, they'll see you as reliable. And also, when you're being consistent, you're also putting that in front of people's eyes so they actually remember what's going on, and then they can actually, take part in whatever you're taking part of. Because sometimes, I'll look at an email and I'll be like, okay, yeah, I'll get to it later. And then I realize that I don't get to it later because I was busy. But then I'll see another email about the same thing and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna jump on this now, because it's like, obviously it's like, it's a sign that I need to actually pay attention to what it is that I'm doing and what it is that they're offering and taking part in that. Number 4, meet people where they are, whether that's email, text, and social media. If you utilize these platforms, you want to be able to, definitely connect with your audience, use what we call emotional marketing. We don't want to make people feel bad. We don't want to make people feel guilty, but we do want people to know like how excited we are about offering solutions to their problems. So that way they'll be like, yeah, I want to go get help from them. I want to make a difference, because people will listen to you when you're trying to help them either make a life change or helping them just to do good in the world. Because sometimes, it doesn't come naturally to everyone to do good in the best way in the world. Like some people may think doing good means one thing when you can help them, do a good thing on a bigger scale. And so it's definitely a good thing to do, is to make sure that you are connecting with people's passions and their desires. And then that way you're able to take them into my next step, which is what's called showing them that transformation. You want to be able to take them from their desires to that desired goal that they have. And so, how can you ask them to stand with you and take action is something that I wrote down, which is really important to think about as well. And so, when I said here, clearly showcase the transformation your offers provide. You don't want to just talk about like what your offer or what your program or what your products or your services, like their features and everything like that. What is it in it for your audience? What's in it for your customers? Because at the end of the day, people want what they want for them. They're not really paying necessarily attention to the features of your product. They're not really paying attention to what your fancy product or program is called. They want to know, can what you're offering to them provide the solution? Is it going to solve their problem? So at the end of the day, if you talk more about the end result, if you talk more about the transformation that people will receive, that's the way that you can grow your community. That's the way you get people to come back for more information. That's the way that you help people definitely in their purchasing decisions, whether your product is perfect for them. So I definitely um, think that that's a really, those are these, all of these is really important things to consider for your marketing to be good, for your online marketing strategy to be Amazing. So thank you for listening to this video, and let me know how it was below. If you have any questions, if you want to talk more about this in detail, or if you want to share your experiences with marketing, and if the light bulb switched on for you by seeing it in a different realm that might be different from what you normally produce for your audience. Also, don't forget to check in the description section to see all the different resources that I have talked about today.